Azura Zainal, and I'm so excited for you to be here today because we have such awesome guests with us today. But of course, welcome to the dynamic talk show brought to you by none other than Heriot-Watt University, Malaysia. Today we'll be talking about something that is very, very important to us, especially at these trying times due to the pandemic. Of course, we're talking about positive mental health. Now, we all know that whenever we talk about mental health, it always takes a back seat when it comes to our other stuff that's happening in life, right? Because I believe that a lot of us here, when we talk about mental health, they probably do not know the difference. There's actually a difference between mental health and mental illness. So we're not going to go into mental illness. Mental health, according to WHO, it means it's a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own sense of ability and can cope with the normal stresses of life and can work productively and is able to make a contribution to his or her society. So that is mental health, and we're going to be talking about how we can actually manage it positively. All right, enough of me talking. It's time for me to introduce two very special guests. They need no introduction at all because the first one is none other than our squash darling, Datuk Nicol David. Yay! Thank you for being here with us, Datuk Nicol David. So nice to say that out, right? Okay, and for our next guest for today, we have Heriot-Watt University Malaysia's very own Dr. Weng Kean, who brought home the SEA Games' first e-sport gold medal. Woo! Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Nicol David, and of course, Dr. Yu. I mean, e-sport is going really big right now, so thank you for bringing gold for us, Dr. Yu. We're super proud, and obviously, both of you are legends, making history, bringing back gold to the country and making a name for Malaysia as well. So thank you, Dr. Nicol, and of course, Dr. Yu, for being here with us to talk about positive mental health. Okay, done. Now, it's time for us to actually, not to say get to know you a little bit better because people know you already. Let's begin with Nicol. Maybe you can update us on what you've been doing post-retirement, and are you enjoying life as much as you were playing squash?
I'm like the happiest being retired, and I'm just enjoying life after retirement. Just not even thinking of waking up in the morning and having to train twice a day, 6 days a week, just to perform in my squash. But now I'm waking up thinking I have to prepare for my talk, or I have to prepare for a conference, or doing a squash event. And now I've been pretty busy since then. After my retirement, it's already a full year after my retirement. So I've been a little busy setting up my foundation. It's going well with my team, and also I'm just doing some squash events happening in KL last year in December, and doing some squash camps in the US with some universities, and at the same time sharing and motivating people through talks and speaking engagements in Malaysia.
Oh, that is a lot. You've got your notebook or your list to do all packed up. Now that definitely needs positive mental health because yes, you are happy and whatnot, but when you're alone, there's always that other side of you that's like, oh, I just need a rest. But of course, we're going to get into that a little bit later, Nicol. Now let's get to know Dr. Yu. Tell us what you've been up to and what has happened since that gold medal that you brought back to Malaysia. Are you still practicing on making sure that you get another goal next year?
So as you know, the SEA Games didn't really, it's not far ago. It's only was in December last year. So from December until now, it's only 6 months, and 3 months out of that six was MCO period, as you all know. So during this time is more of a learning to teach from home because we have to teach the electrical engineering courses during the MCO period as well. It's not a break for us, and we have to ensure that the online courses continue. So it's all a new experience for us. We are learning how to speak in front of the camera, how to conduct classes. It's a very interesting journey.
Yes, it is definitely. Everyone's picking it up, everyone's learning, and I believe that everyone is doing it quite fast because we need to keep up with the pace. And that's definitely going to affect us not physically but mentally as well because everyone is doing their best at everything And if you are seen to be slacking off, and that's going to take effect on you itself. Okay, so now moving on to the question, Nicole, you were saying you were doing so many things, right? Can you tell us, how do you keep yourself happy, smiling all the time? Look at you. I don't think I've ever seen you frown or serious, except for when you're in the court, of course.
Yeah.
But now that you're thinking about other things, I'm sure, of course, it's a different kind of nervousness when you're playing, when you're competing, and now prepping for talks and conferences and so on and so forth. Maybe you can help share with us with that.
Well, I think with squash and playing sport for most of my life, I use that experience to actually try to apply it to other things. I never really understood how I'm going to be after squash, and but I had a good team around me that actually gave me that positive reinforcement that I can do more things, not just my squash. So I had to get myself away from that identity of being a professional squash player and going into or deep dive into how am I going to contribute back to the community, to the society in ways that I can do in motivational talks. And those are pretty scary stuff, I have to admit, but it's how sport has given me that structure and that mental capacity to channel myself into preparation, discipline, and making sure that I put my full effort in doing it well and giving my best all the time. I can't do better than that. That's what my parents always told me, that if I did my best, that's all I can do. So I think that's the mental capacity that I can apply that from my squash to what I'm doing now. But also I still have moments of vulnerability, of fearing that I'm not good enough, or I don't think I'm up to speed, and that's the fear that I would get, and I get down or I feel a little upset. But that's normal. It's only human, and I just have to go through it, feel it, accept it, and understand that it's okay. And then I just have to live it, and the next day I just move forward and push on to something and turn it around positively for myself.
Wow. Okay, that is very, very indeed. You said you have to go through it no matter what happens. At the end of the day, if something goes wrong, take a deep breath, accept it, move forward, because tomorrow is another day. Take one day at a time,
Yeah.
right? So for Dr. Yu, maybe you could share us your journey on how this has led you to where you are today by having a positive mental.
So as for me, I pursue a path of the academic. That's not the same with Nicole, but I will talk more on the academic side because that was my main path, and I pursued my PhD directly after my degree. It was a time where all of my colleagues were started working and they were going to pursue a career that they want, but I knew that I want to pursue a different path, and PhD was the line for me, but it was a long and sort of lonely journey, I would say, because you are in it alone. There's not many people that you can talk to about your problems, and along the way is there were ups and downs of a PhD. There's times where am I good enough to do this? What are the next steps? And the important thing is to always maintain the positive mental health, because you need to have a strong mental health to ensure that you keep up the momentum, regardless of the results that you are getting, because one day you will succeed. You just have to keep it up and believe that you can do it. So that, I believe, is the most important mental aspect to persevere in anything that you are doing. Some things are we take time and need patience to endure. And I believe that a lot of people they break down after they are maybe on the right path already, but along the way they feel like it's too difficult, it's too hard, and they just give up halfway. So by having this positive mental health reinforcement, they actually can back up themselves. Like, it's I know it's hard, but you just need to persevere, do it again, and one day you can succeed. Yeah, that is how I take it, even in my esports journey as well.
Yeah. So basically, you must have a routine. At the end of the day, you have to keep telling yourself that it's important to stay positive, but it can get tiring. as we all know, right? Okay, so one of the themes of Heriot-Watt University Strategy 2025 involves building flourishing communities. The university's A Happier You initiative, and it is part of it. So I'm sure Dr. You know about this. So building a positive mental health among communities is obviously important. It's highly important right now. So maybe both of you could actually share with us or explain your routines to maintain positive and mental health throughout your day. At the same time, have a balance physically and mentally. Maybe Nicole, you can start first.
Okay. It's purely how your attitude lies from the word go. Like starting the day, how do you start the day, approaching your day, having a plan or something that you can put together that you can actually focus towards. And at the same time, you have to just be aware of your emotions. I think that's what the definition of for me about positive mental health is the capability of being aware of your emotions and how you're gonna go around it to overcome it. And whether it's good or bad, you just have to acknowledge and understand what's happening within you before you can go forward and do what you have to do during the day. So those are the key things. If you feel down or there's something negative, you are talking negatively to yourself, how are you going to turn those things around? And those are just daily practices. If you feel like there's negativity around you, how are you going to turn that around for yourself for the better? And those are small things that you can practice daily to just reinforce a bit more positivity in your day, and then you keep a bit more upbeat as you go along. But it's never easy, but you have to go through those experiences to understand what to do and take those steps according to how you feel it works for you.
Okay, Dr. Yu, what's your routine like on a daily basis to making sure that you're physically and mentally stable and positive?
Okay, now firstly, I want to address that positive mental health is not the state of happy or sad. You can be happy or you can be upset at certain things. It's perfectly normal to feel that. Everyone feels that way. It's not like, oh, I'm upset, I have a bad mental health. No, it's not that case. You can feel happy or sad, but the problem is some people, they have the tendency to feel sad or have a negative feeling, being stressed, angry, or upset for a long period of time where they cannot get over it. So this is a problem because this will affect their work, their relationship, their performance, right? If it's continuous over a long period of time, it will affect them in a negative manner. It will affect their mental health in a negative state. And if it even affects themselves in the causing them into going into depression, that will lead to other state like mental disorder and so on. But the main point is that for us to reinforce ourselves every day, because what I do is daily affirmations. Affirmations is something that, if we have a set of tasks that we want to overcome today, that maybe the previous day we couldn't make it, we are upset negatively, like, why can't I do this? Then the next day you sort of reset. You want to reset yourself. You have a daily affirmation. Today I can do it. I believe I can do it, and all the positive words will actually give you the energy and motivation to carry out any activity you have for the day.
But of course, we're talking about two very special people. As we all know, you, like Nicole and Dr. Yu and all those one athletes and people who are out there, I believe they are the chosen one. They are definitely the chosen one because that's why they are where they are right now. But what about us, the regular people? That needs a bit more push and motivation. I know that for you to create a habit, it takes about 21 days for you to set in that habit. So, what are the things that we need to be mindful of to make sure that we do not fall and forget our goal is right in the front and what we need to do to make sure we reach that goal by staying sane all the time? Like you said, yes, it's fine to be normal, but is it important for us to be with people? Or if you are a loner and you don't like to be with people, how do they handle it? So, Nicole.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us, well, you don't see it very much, but as athletes, we go through the same thing like everybody else does. we have our bad days, we have our low days, but how do we turn things around and maybe push it for the next day, and we stick to the path that we take. I think to have a clear goal or maybe a plan towards where we want to go is very important. It may be small goals, like small things to improve, and those things will help you to get to the end goal at the end of the day. When you have goals, sometimes people just like what Dr. Yu was saying, they just try to do it and then they don't realize they're already halfway there, but then they give up and they don't fully trust the process. So I believe, like, and what Dr. Yu says, patience. Be patient with yourself. Understand that it's a process. It will take time. It's frustrating. You're gonna have failures. It's okay, but you're gonna come out. You're gonna come around and come through it, and that's fine. So I think people have to just understand that they are more capable than they know it. So and that's just reminding them to just stay on track, don't give up, and always, yeah, stay true to yourself. If you feel down and out, it's okay, it's normal. But then, like Dr. Yu said, turn it around. Next day, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick to the plan and go for it. So that's, and it's a practice. It's not, it doesn't come just naturally. It's something you have to practice daily, and it works. Believe me, it does.
Yeah, as cliche as it may sound, being staying positive, hard work, but that is actually the key. You just have to keep telling yourself that perseverance is key to everything if you want to succeed. So maybe Dr. You would like to add on to that, or you is there
I
another
also
way that
agree
you
that
can?
with Nicole that goal setting is one of the ways that we can actually reinforce ourselves to overcome the mental health issue if we are suffering from it. But another way that we can do it is if we have a family or friends that we can communicate with. Simple communication actually uh, help us to maintain our positive status. Just a casual communication, no need to stress out too much. Just relax and have a constant communication with your close family or your close friends. But I understand that some of the people, maybe they stay alone and maybe they're far apart from their family. They are facing this issue even further because, like students, they tend to stay away from their family. So this other way that they can do is also through sports, right? If you think about it, sports is the way that normally we find it as an opportunity to socialize with others. And other than sports, because if you think about MCO and the COVID-19, all the traditional sports you cannot play the traditional sports. So as like even school children, they can't even hang out with their friends anymore. So what they do is that they result esports because that's the only game that they can play together or sport that they can play together, and this helped them to give them a platform for them to actually socialize with their like-minded peers so that they can actually maintain that positive mental health throughout that period.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of esports athletes now because everybody's so busy with their gadgets and trying to make, be good at that particular sports. So, okay, since we're talking about sports and we have two athletes here with us, Nicole, maybe you can share with us what is the hardest thing that you've had to do in the sporting arena that challenged you mentally? Um, I'm a very competitive person. So when I lose,
Me.
I get really upset. And when my husband tells me, that's why you need to really work on that. Like he asked me to get into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and I don't want to do it because I don't know how to do it, obviously. And I don't want to lose, right? Because when I lose, I just shut off and I don't want to do it anymore. So how do you how do you do that? When comes the challenge of you not um, winning or not excelling or not having the result that you expect it to be? How do you keep telling yourself that, okay, this is not happening, I'm going to move forward?
Well, I'm just as competitive or maybe more, and I hate losing, and that's why I kept wanting to get better, improve myself, and find ways to keep winning, and that's why I was at my best. But I think the hardest was when I got to world number one, and I got to win the world title for the first time. I actually didn't know what I had to do next because I fulfilled my dream it all came together for me, and I just didn't know what to do after that. So I struggled after to find out what I had to, what is required to be world number one, and no one tells you how to do that. So I struggled through and lost most of my matches in the next season. I was very at a low point, but where that really turned around for me, because I realized very quickly that being world number one, you have to work even harder. You have to know how to improve certain areas that your opponents are ready to attack you. Your head is on the chopping board all the time. So I understood the pressures I had to be on to understand how to withstand that. So strengthening my mental ability, or just working with a sports psychologist to really put things together very clearly on my game plan on what to do next. And I had a great team around me. I had a lot of positive reinforcement to give me that extra support and guidance throughout each area that I needed to improve to stay on top. So yeah, so being down, I learned so much on how I could make it better for me, and sport really helped. Like being active really gets my mind even clearer. Like especially during this MCO, if I don't work out, I go crazy. So that's just me being an athlete before that, being confined in a space. I needed to do exercise, so I still train, and that's what keeps me going. And yeah, so this is just what sport has given me to keep that positive mental health.
And you are even more because you started at the age of 5 when you started playing squash. And I remember
Yeah.
talking to you when you were really young. You were 16 when you came onto my old show before, and you're saying you
Yes.
started playing it because you wanted to beat your sisters, and you were
Yeah.
saying that they were the more talented ones. So for you to have that strength in telling yourself, telling your mind that okay, I'm going to be better than my sisters, it's amazing because you were 5. 5-year-old kids just go out and play. They don't care about any other thing. So yeah, kudos and congrats to you, and that's why you are who you are right now. And
Thank
what
you.
about you,
Thank
Dr. You, your journey? The challenges that you faced. Being a lecturer, having to teach, and at the same time, persevering into getting gold in the esports. How do you do it when you
So
when you come face to
okay,
face with challenges?
okay. For any competition that I foresee nowadays, that the sports psychology or the mental endurance for any athlete is actually equally important as the physical endurance side. So any doubt in your mental state can actually result in poor execution, and also can result into a loss by itself. Just by having a negative mental state, it can result in a loss. So one of the way that I go over it is the mental visualization, where I sort of visualize the entire match prior to it. But maybe this is much easier for esports because we can foresee and predict enemy movements prior to the match, and this allows us to get used to the environment, get used to the crowd, get used to the noise, the enemy movements, and also get used to embracing victory, because at times we are just so close to the finish line, then we start to realize, oh, I'm just about to win. Like you realize it at that point, and you may have a tendency to be nervous if you only figure that out then. So by having this visualization part, you actually maintain your focus throughout the game. So even at match point, you don't worry too much. You just focus on the game itself. But for me at the Sea Games, which was the biggest competition for me personally, because I don't sort of compete at the world arena like Nicole does. But Sea Games for me was the biggest competition. It was the first time esports was being competed as a medal tally event in an Olympic sanctioned event, which was the Sea Games. But during that tournament alone, I prepared so hard for it. The group stage itself, which was a round robin 5 matches, I found myself down 0-2, 0 wins and 2 losses after the first 2 matches. So it was like a really low point at the time, like really, really low, like because we were very confident going in, like preparation wise, training wise, strategy wise, we were confident that we at least could get a medal, if not the gold medal. But we were down 0-2. So that time with like crush, like totally like, one more loss and we are out, sort of feeling. But I was able to bounce back mentally. That was the most important point, bounce back mentally, because of the support I had from my family, my manager and my coach. And my mindset was that I'm not out yet, so they need to beat me. So I believe in my own ability, and my ability was able to win the next three matches to actually advance to the next stage. So that was one of the important point that actually challenged myself to my mental state, the limit of that. It was a very, very tough experience in the SEA Games to actually go past it, right?
So it's basically like Nicole said, at the end of the day, practice makes perfect. You just have to keep repeating what you do until you get there. Okay, Nicole and Dr. Yu, we're going to take a short break. But before we take a short break, I've got a fun fact that I'd like to share with you. Heriot-Watt University is the only university in Malaysia driving positive education through pioneering education and flourishing communities. Yes, that's a fun fact. Keep that in mind. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back very, very soon. So don't go away, okay?
Dear students, colleagues, and family members, this time is very special. It is very challenging, and I believe all of us, all of you, are also a special group of people. I was positively surprised and excited by the work that our students have done. It's an amazing thing that we could all do this with such a short time and also doing it using technology. All that work that you have done will get you ready, will get you fit for the future. One thing that we are sure of, this crisis is going to end. And when that happens, we will need leaders to lead the economic recovery. And you will be among the leaders who will get our communities, our nations, and the entire world to move into the economic recovery and also be a better place.
The Fit for Future curriculum has embedded the learnings of how to develop a successful mindset, rewiring our brain with positive thoughts, language, and actions, building emotional intelligence through our self-awareness and managing and controlling emotions, and setting smart goals for career learning. I strongly believe that these are the testament to how successful the program has been in achieving our desired outcomes.
What I've learned so far in this online learning platform is that communication within your group is the key to success, and teamwork makes the dream work.
By joining this program online, I have no regrets at all, as this program was packed with interesting activities and games. Some of them even challenged me to think who I am really are.
I think the biggest highlight in this program is the emotional intelligence activity. As what Professor Mushtaq Al-Atabi had commented, emotional intelligence is a cornerstone of leadership and success. I had fun participating in this Fit for Future program.
Fit for Future program, it's totally different. I really enjoyed the gratitude activity. It makes me feel grateful for people around me. It was a really warm experience for me. So I think that joining the Fit for Future program is definitely an amazing experience for me.
I would like to thank all the students. I would like to thank all their parents and their families for their support. And I also would like to thank the tireless work that our staff have done to put this together. I'm really excited and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm proud of everyone who has done this great work.
Welcome back to What's Up World with me, Azura, and two very special guests that we have here today talking about positive mental health. We have Datuk Nicol David, our squash darling, and of course, Dr. Weng Kean, who brought us the SEA Games first eSport gold medal. Thank you so much for being here with us. A quick fun fact, just to let you know that Heriot-Watt University is the only university in Malaysia driving positive education through pioneering education and flourishing communities. Now, we all know how important it is for us to always keep sane and have a positive mental health. That's why we have two people who I think are pros at it, because having to be on a stage where every eyes are watching, you have to make sure that you are at your best at all times. And it takes a lot of practice and patience and perseverance for you to achieve that goal. Okay, now coming back to Nicole, maybe you can explain to us, you've been playing squash like forever. Since the age of 5, everybody knows that. And have you, at any point throughout your journey of becoming the queen of squash, ever thought of hanging the racket at any moment in time? Because you're too stressed after a game that you say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Has that ever occurred to you?
To be honest, throughout my career, I didn't have that moment of just wanting to just drop it all and stop from then on. It was more that I was tired, because mentally and physically you get pretty saturated when the competition is on. All throughout the year, you are having to perform at the very highest level, having to be prepared physically, mentally, every single moment. It gets tiring. So I've had like 1 year where, at the end of 2009, where I just did not take a break, and by the end of the year, I just kind of broke. Like I just was just too tired, and I couldn't perform at my best. But all I needed to do was have a little refresh, to just take a few holidays in between the year to just break it up, think about squash, get my mind free from squash, so that I can just get back the hunger and the drive to come back in training fully again and be fresh. And so your body is ready to push forward for the training, get hungry and ready to roar when you are competing. So that was but I never lost the love of the sport. I always had that love always, and that's what gave me the push and to keep persevering in anything that came my way.
Yeah, that's why having to do the things that you love is very important, because at the end of the day, it's a love, nothing's going to stop you from
Yeah.
moving forward. Dr. Yu,
Yeah.
Heriot-Watt University is known for being a strong proponent for positive education. Could you explain to us a little bit more about this and how it helps in nurturing mental health?
Okay, so in Heriot University, Malaysia, positive education means that the student that we are building up is not fully focusing solely on the academic excellence, not only focus solely on that, but we also focus on the holistic development of the individual. So a lot of times the emphasis have been placed on the youth for the academic result by the society, you need to get straight A's and so on. But what those employers in the working world truly wants is to find youth that are, they have a passion, they are determined to get up in the morning to do their work, and they also have the soft skills to back it up. So, for example, we oftentimes find the youth these days, they want to create an impact, they really do. And they may have been a straight A student, but they struggle very hard in finding their passion in life. They struggle to find it. So at Heriot, we have a module, we call it the impact statement. And this impact statement module is what helps the youth in exactly this, to find their passion. So this module helps them to find their own core impact, and is actually embedded into our Empower program. And together with our Youth Transformation program, these are the two core initiatives by Heriot University Malaysia in spearheading the positive education in Malaysia. So by helping the students understand themselves and creating a sense of purpose into them, it will lead them to become more happy with the positive mental health, and subsequently they can accomplish much better things, both in academically and also holistically and in their life.
That is very, very important, because right now, everything we do, it's all about creating impact. I mean, for me growing up, I don't know, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, at the end of the day, when we go to school, it's all about, learning everything and not understanding what your purpose is. So with Heriot-Watt University, it's all about having an all-rounded youth and all-rounded graduate. When you go out into the world, you can be of service to the community and to the environment as well. which is very, very important. And of course, sports is very important to make sure you keep sane of all that too. Okay,
Yes.
now maybe Nicole, you can share with us some advice for those of for our participants, our viewers right now, who are looking to nurture their mental well-being. Any advice? I'm sure you have loads of advice to share.
I feel that people just have to be more conscious and more aware of what's going on with themselves, and just be kind to yourself. I think we kind of take ourselves for granted. Sometimes we are a little too harsh on ourselves, and we just put ourselves down. And it's that's what I also have gone through in my time. But it's only normal. But we have to just be more kind and appreciate what we have, the people around you, your family, your friends, the life that you lead. Even though in quarantine time, appreciate those moments that you have with your friends and family, and what you are able to do now, and just be the best you can be. You can't expect more from yourself. Just live that day and enjoy the moments that you come.
Enjoy the moments in life. Oh, another question that I wanted to ask, which I wanted to ask earlier, but I forgot. Now that you're not playing so much anymore, I mean, not competing, which one is harder, not competing or preparing for other works like your conferences and all?
I think it's more the other thing. Competing is fine. I got my plan. Like like we have a routine. You visualize, you do your preparation, you get trained, and you're ready to go. Now the new stuff is like, okay, how is my preparation gonna be like? So you have to figure it out as you go along. So I think the second part is the harder one, but I'm enjoying the
The
experience
process.
and learning so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is also, you are kind of like almost repeating everything that you did for competing, You have to learn and you have
Exactly.
to persevere, you have to repeat. It's like they say, eat, sleep, repeat. Eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Dr.
Exactly.
You, perhaps you can also share with us your tips on how we can actually nurture ourselves to have a positive mental health.
Okay, it's important that to actually learn and understand your purpose and goals that you are actually seeking in life. So at times when we are down or lost, think back why you started this in the first place. Some goals will take time and will take maybe months or years to actually reach it. But it is important to actually reaffirm your goals constantly so that you don't lose sight of it when the going actually gets tougher. So I believe that that is the advice that I can give to all that's watching to the show today.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, from the horse's mouth itself. And you guys have been really, really awesome. Thank you, Nicole and Dr. Yu, for your time. And of course, for sharing with us your journey and how we can actually prepare ourselves to health, positive mental health as well. So the key takeaway for today is to remember that it is important for us to keep practicing and keep doing it, persevere until it becomes a habit. Until then, you can only realize that you can actually achieve something, because in everything that we do, as cliche as it may sound, practice makes perfect. Correct, Nicole?
Yep, exactly
So,
right.
that's right. It sounds like, alama, why? But you have to do it in order for you to keep sane. And of course, number two, it's important for you to also surround yourself with positive people. Only then you will get positive energy from other people, and then you can actually move out, go out there and seize the day and say to the world that I am ready to conquer you. And for Dr. Yu as well, thank you for being here with us, for sharing with all your journeys and your experiences, and we really appreciate it. And for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions and you want to be updated, make sure you keep following Heriot-Watt University Malaysia's Facebook page, because what will we be talking about next week? Only way to find out is to keep yourself updated on the Facebook page, okay? So until we meet again, thank you once again, Nicole and Dr. Yu. Bye-bye and have a great day.